What are we observing?
What you see here is aircraft that is operating in a U.S. Navy training range that has observed spherical object in that area, and as they fly by it, they take a video. You see it looks reflective in this video, somewhat reflective, and it quickly passes by the cockpit of the aircraft.
And is this one of the phenomena that we can't explain?
I do not have an explanation for what this specific object is.
This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
Lately, they have been coming out and giving disclosures about aliens, UFOs, and much more.
You gave an interview the other day in which you said you've been briefed on unidentified flying objects. Are they real?
Well, I don't want to really get into it too much, but personally, I tend to doubt it. I mean, you have people that swear by it, right? And pilots have come in and they said, and these are pilots that are not pilots that are into that particular world, but we have had people saying that they've seen things. I'm not a believer, but you know, I guess anything's possible.
It's led to the inquiry which heard hundreds of unexplained encounters. A government report last year acknowledged that between 2004 and 2021, there were 144 unexplained sightings. Since then, the number's grown to 400.
Wherever they have the files about Area 51 and UFOs, and I go through everything to find out what happened. Right. Did you do that?
The aliens won't let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
Did you go through the secret files, the UFO documents? Because if I was president, that'd be the first thing I did.
But I'm not telling you.
You're not telling me. You're not telling me what? Are you not telling me that you looked at them?
I'm not telling you nothing.
Are there really great secrets that you know that you can't share with people?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
UFOs. You've been the president. You've seen all the info. Are they real?
There are things flying around up there that we haven't fully identified yet. I mean, you can't even get your mind around the sheer number of things that are out there.
But you've seen this.
And
you've seen the data.
Well, no one knows, but I think that the probability is that there's something you would call life somewhere else.
For the first time in more than 50 years, Congress held a public hearing on UFOs today, and they focused on military encounters with these unidentified flying objects. Southern California plays a central role in the UFO phenomenon.
I believe this falls into the agenda of a new world order that has been planned and in place for a long time now.
Today on Capitol Hill, Pentagon officials testified for the first time in half a century about the possibility that we are not alone in the universe. Two members of the Pentagon's new task force investigating unidentified aerial phenomena shared newly declassified video of strange objects flying near U.S. fighter jets.
Is this one of the phenomena that we can't explain?
I do not have an explanation for what this specific object is.
The defense officials told lawmakers they're analyzing about 400 reports of UFOs from military personnel. They say the Pentagon has not recovered any wreckage that leads them to believe the crafts were built or piloted by aliens, but they're still concerned.
Because UAPs pose potential flight safety and general security risk, we are committed to a focused effort to determine their origins.
The hearing was closely watched by local UFO researchers because California has the most UFO sightings of any state, like this 2004 sighting off the coast of San Diego known as the Tic Tac incident.
I am encouraged that there is serious discussion of this subject, but I am a little disappointed that they're not being more forthcoming.
Preston Dennett is a UFO researcher and author from Reseda. He shared these photos of some of the many UFO sightings reported here in Southern California. There have been hundreds of unidentified craft spotted in the air and even entering the ocean. He documented many of them in his book, Undersea UFO Base, about activity near Catalina Island.
It's clear that these are material craft. They are appearing on radar. They are accelerating at very high speeds. They're not using propellants as we know it. It's clearly an advanced technology.
After today's public hearing, lawmakers were given a classified briefing behind closed doors. Dennett hopes the U.S. government is slowly moving towards full disclosure.
The majority of Americans do believe in UFOs. So I think we are ready to learn about the truth about this subject.
This will usher everything.
The U.S. government has verified they're real in the sense there are objects moving in the sky that we cannot identify. They're certain they do not belong to a foreign nation. They're not from Russia or from China. And third, we know that these objects are moving in ways that we cannot replicate, explain, or even understand. So everyone who studied this in the U.S. government will admit that privately. No one has really said that out loud, and that may change very soon.
There is a lot that has been said, but there is also a lot that has not been shown or anything that the masses know.
Well, in fact, it might not be so much what we know, Tucker, but the fact that we don't know some things. Clearly, right. from a national security perspective, the last thing you want to do is ever broadcast your, if you will, your intelligence gaps to your enemy. And in this particular case, you said it yourself, there's a lot more we don't know than we do know. But you're right, this is a historic move. Since 50 years ago, the last time we were faced with this, you had the Air Force briefing the results of Project Blue Book. Here we are half a century later, and now we have senior DOD officials now, not just the Air Force, coming up and providing information to Congress and ultimately the American people.
I also believe this is where the fallen angels, demonic entities, will also come into place.
Since the early 2000s, we have seen an increasing number of unauthorized and or unidentified aircraft or objects in military-controlled training areas and training ranges and other designated airspace. Reports of sightings are frequent and continuing.
They are making an appearance once again. This is a spiritual warfare, and one that everyone will be shown to.
As we detailed in both the unclassified and classified versions of the preliminary assessment released by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence last June, this often limited amount of high-quality data and reporting hampers our ability to draw firm conclusions about the nature or intent of UAP. As detailed in the ODNI report, if and when individual UAP incidents are resolved, they likely fall into one of 5 potential explanatory categories: airborne clutter, natural atmospheric phenomena, U.S. government or U.S. industry developmental programs, foreign adversary systems, or a other bin that allows for a holding bin of difficult cases and for the possibility of surprise and potential scientific discovery. We stand by those initial results. Since the release of that preliminary report, the UAP Task Force database has now grown to contain approximately 400 reports. The stigma has been reduced. We've also made progress in resolving the character of a limited number of UAP encounters. For example, let me show you a couple of another video and image taken years apart in different areas. In this video, U.S. Navy personnel recorded what appears to be triangles, some flashing, recorded several years ago, off the coast of the United States. This was recorded while the U.S. Navy ship observed a number of small unmanned aerial systems in the area. And importantly, the video was taken through night vision goggles with a single lens reflex camera. These remained unresolved for several years.